area of the triangle is half of 16 plus 7 square root 10. The base is 3 square root 2 plus square root 5. Now, without using a calculator, we want to find the perpendicular height of the triangle, giving my answer in the form of a square root 2 plus b square root 5. Okay, so how we go about doing this question is we know that in general, since we learned in primary school, the area of a triangle is basically just half multiplied by base multiplied by height. We now proceed to fill in the blank. Our area is half of 16 plus 7 square root 10. Half. Our base is 3 square root 2 plus square root 5, followed by the height. Okay, so now if I want to find the height, I will take this area divided by this, right? And height, half of 16 plus 7 square root 10 divided by half of 3 square root 2 plus square root 5. Okay, seeing how half is a common factor, we can cancel it off. And having this answer here, we know that when the denominator is a surd, we cannot leave it there, right? So we have to multiply it, okay, by the conjugate, right? So what we're going to do is to multiply by a conjugate. Okay, so the conjugate is found by taking the plus and changing it to minus. So 1 by 1, well, 16 multiplied to 3 square root 2, that gives us 48 square root 2. 16 to square root 5 minus 16 square root 5. 7 square root 10, 3 square root 2, that gives us 21 square root 20. Because 10 times 2 is 20, 7 times 3 is 21. Plus, subtracting away 7 square root 50, because I'm multiplying 7 square root 10 to square root 5. So from here next, 3 square root 2, 3 square, for the denominator, it's just a square minus b square. So it's 9 times 2 minus 5. Because square of 3 square root 2 is just 9 times 2, 18. Square of square root 5 is just 5. Now maybe I don't skip steps. Let me just write it out properly so that it doesn't confuse the person viewing this, right? Okay, so from here to here, the reason is because a minus b, a plus b, right? We use the fact that if we have a plus b, a minus b, that gives us a square minus b square. So this is very common when we do rationalization. You realize that your denominator, because of the conjugates, one is plus, one is minus, right? You can just straight away use the algebraic identity lah. Okay, so from here, what do I do next? Let me try to simplify them together. 21 square root 20 can be the same as square root 4 square root 5, right? So square root 4 is the same as 2. So this is the same as 2 square root 5. Combining 21 and 2 square root 5, that will probably give us a 42 square root 5. Square root 50 can be the same as square root 35 square root 2, simply because I see a common perfect square that I want to take out. Square root 35 can be the same as 5 square root 2. Combining 7 and 5 square root 2, that gives me 35 square root 2. 48 square root 2 minus 16 square root 5 plus higher denominator 3 square root 2, that will be 18 minus 5. Okay, now I see that they are like surds, just like algebra. I'm going to merge them together. 48 minus 35, that gives me 13 square root 2. 6 minus 16, 42, that gives me 26. Sorry, careless mistake there. Denominator 18 minus 5, that gives me 13. Right, so just simplifying this fraction, breaking up into 2, I have square root 2 plus 2 square root 5. Okay, and I'm done.